Nobody in the chat. What it do though? You know what I'm saying? I do not have any guests this week. It is just moi. That sounded too. That sounded wild. Pause. Um, I was thinking about a character Oyama from My Hero Academia. That's the way he says moi, me, of course, in French. But it didn't translate. It didn't quite land when it came out of my mouth. Pause again. Into all the anti pausers. Oh well. Y'all be alright. Y'all be alright. Uh, tu- tu- Check sure, make sure that the YouTube stream is live because then who else would I be talking to? You know what I mean? All right, bet. And as usual, I will share the stream to the socials. So, you know, so as to make it accessible, you know what I'm saying? So the lifers can join. Hope everybody been having a good week so far. Hope everybody good. I say everybody, even though it's nobody in the chat yet. So, you know what I'm saying? Still, nonetheless, I'm blessed by the best. You know the rest. Even if you don't, you know, act like you know the rest. I ain't had no rhyme for that. I don't professional. I don't professionally rhyme. Don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. I ain't no rapper. Not a rapper. But shout out to the rappers. Y'all know I'm a battle rap fan. Shout out to speaking of battle rap. Shout out to C Cash. You know, friend of the pod. Um, he is a battle rapper and a rapper. I was actually just watching a clip I made to not the intro but the first song off his uh off his last record, royalties. Beware 2025. That joint still go hard. If y'all haven't listened to C Cash royalties, y'all should check it out if you like rap, especially if you like, you know, that kind of gritty, street type of rap. If y'all into that, y'all should definitely give it a bump. Should definitely give it a bump. You'll enjoy it. That's my word. Um, but yeah, I made a TikTok reel to it, and I still feel it kind of, I still feel like that joint go hard. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I still think that joint go kind of hard. I can't play it because this is recorded on YouTube, and you know, what you call it, copyright strikes and all that kind of stuff. But maybe I'll share it again on the page, and y'all can let me know. I was using Call of Duty highlights because I felt like it had that kind of action packed beat to it. I mean that action packed feel to it. So I'm like, I might as well put it in the background to some action. You know what I'm saying? Some of my best plays. Well, not like best plays ever, but some of my top plays that I got while I was on there. Figured, let's see what else we got going on this week. The NBA is back, baby. Yeah. The NBA season is back. Y'all know I'm a basketball junkie. Um, so I'm very excited that basketball season, not just the preseason, but the actual season, is back. Um, got to see my Rockets with KD lose on opening night. Um, we shouldn't have lost that game. I didn't get to see the entire Sixers game, but I caught pieces of it, and I'm glad that they, played well. Um, Maxi and VJ Edgecombe went off. I was expecting this to be a big year for Maxi. I've been a fan of his since high school. He just, he looked like he was one of those kids that was different. You know what I mean? Like he was truly going to be that. And so far, he is. So shout out to him. VJ Edgecombe had an excellent rookie debut. But I'm one of them people that just you just can't sell. You know what? Whether it's really bad or really good, a rookie debut means almost nothing to me. Almost nothing. Like I'm happy for the player if it's really good, but it doesn't sell me on who the player is, who the player is going to be. None of that. I promise you it don't. I promise you it don't. It doesn't. Um, and I always use, because it's a funny example to me, but I always use Michael Carter Williams, MCW, as the excuse or as the example as to why I don't put too much stock in a rookie's very first game. Um, because I knew he was mid to trash back when I saw him in Syracuse. I knew he wasn't like a thorough NBA player. I didn't even really for real. I could say he exceeded my expectations because he had a quite long NBA career, and I did not. I did not um think that he was going to be in the NBA as long. Matter of fact, when he went from people who they thought was like had next to being moved around from team to team, I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Even though he almost had a quadruple double against Miami Heat as they were the defending champions that year, and that's the Heatles. He almost had a quadruple double against the Heatles. He was short on blocks and steals, which means he's probably closer to a quint. Was he closer to a quadruple? No, he was closer to a quadruple. Yeah, it wasn't blocks and steals. It was steals. He almost had. So that's what it was. He almost had a quadruple double. Points, assists, rebounds. He had those, and he almost had 10 steals. I mean, for what it counts for, almost. If he had like 6 or 7 or something like that. And people was just telling me I was wrong. I'm just like, no, no, he's not the point guard that y'all think he is. I don't think he's that athletic. Um, I don't think his handle is like that, and I know his shot not like that. I watched him in Syracuse. Y'all think he's this great defender, but Syracuse plays a lot of zone defense, and zone defense makes guys look better on defense than what they really are. I've been playing basketball long enough to know that. Um, especially zone defense where it's like a team's identity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then you just know where you gotta be. Like you're not a good defender. You're definitely not an elite defender. You just know where you gotta be. And that is an entirely different situation. Um, so let's see. What else we got going on? I see people getting arrested. Speaking of NBA, I see people getting arrested for possible gambling issues. Um, Terry Rozier, aka Scary Terry, was already getting investigated, but now he got arrested today. And Chauncey Billups, big shot, Mr. Big Shot, current coach of uh, the Portland Trailblazers, arrested for a possible gambling, a poker ring that they're saying is connected to the mafia. All this stuff I'm telling y'all is like allegedly, as far as their, accusations. But still, that's just crazy. That's just crazy, crazy to see. Um, Not that it's important or anything, but when I think, because you know what, when I think about like gambling at the NBA level, I really, as a young boy, never thought that it would be that big a thing. But then you realize how much these dudes is probably betting, and it's like, actually, it probably really is. It probably really is a really big deal. But I definitely never thought players would point shave. I literally did a whole paper um, back when I was in high school during the summer enrichment program. Shout out to Upward Bound. No limits, no boundaries. Yeah, yeah. Um, I did a paper and a whole presentation on point shaving, and I used Headache Smith to tell the story. For those hoopheads who know who he is, know who he is. But for those who don't, he was a really good. He was the star of the Arizona State team, and he got approached with the opportunity to make some extra money. He came from humble beginnings, so to him, you know if all I had to do, because it wasn't like outright like how you see on TV, they ask you to throw this game and throw that game and stuff like that. It wasn't outright asking them to throw games. It was like, all right, we got this point spread. So when you beat a team, don't beat this team by 20, beat this team by 5. But since he was such a, dynamic scorer, it meant that he had to miss shots that he normally make or probably been making all game long. And that kind of stuff catch up with you. He even, managed to lure somebody else on the team into, helping him out. But lo and behold, they watching it. Certain games you probably not having great games and it's not making sense. You sitting there trying to get your way to the NBA, and then he's seeing you have this thinker, this game of a team that you probably could blow out, but because you're trying to help these people win, you looking suspect. And they reviewed it and they put two and two together, and Headache had to do a bid behind that. Um, but yeah, so I never like at the high school. I mean, excuse me, at the college level, I understood because that was back before NILs and back before college players could, out in the open get paid for playing. Um, I never just thought like as a millionaire that you would risk millions. I never thought so. I never thought so. But lo and behold, Jonte Porter, Michael Porter Jr.'s older brother, proved to you. He proved to you that it is a thing apparently. Um, let's see. We still ain't got nobody in the chat. Nobody in the chat yet. Wow, wow, wow. I don't want to get too much into the main topic while nobody else is in the chat. Um, let's see what's going on in the meantime between time. Uh, I don't like the song. Yes, I wish he was experimenting with different sounds, different tunes from time to time. Just so, add some pizzazz to what we got going on. That's all. Nothing too crazy. But clap it up for myself. Thank you. Um, what else we got going on? Nobody else in the chat yet. That's crazy. So that's enough NBA to start y'all off with. I guess I'll talk about my real life in the meantime, between time. Um, like I said, man, I'm blessed. Uh, I've had way harder days, way harder weeks than this. Work has been kind of weird lately. There's a lot of politics going on and weird stuff that happens that I ain't gonna get too much into. Um, but I try to. I ain't gonna say rise above it and make myself sound super positive about it when I'm not. But I try to stay out the way. That much I'll say. I try my best to stay out the way. Um, and just keep it pushing. I really, really do. I really, 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 rarely be trying to stay the hell out the way. Um, I see two people. Says two people watching. Uh, but I still don't see nobody in the chat. But shout out to whoever is. Shout out to whoever is watching. Um, what else we got? Oh, well, since I'm here, I will go ahead and make this announcement just in case anybody goes back and watches um, from the beginning of the episode. I will remind you guys that I am a proud member of Podcast Link Philly, and we have our third show, uh, well, our second show for this year, our second show for this year. Um, Going on November 29th. That will be from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And that's not just a live show. It's not just any regular old live show. That is our interactive game night. Yes, 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 indeed. We will be taking it to the next level. You heard? That's right. That's right. Philly Podcast Link next level. It is a celebration of each of us as individuals, what we've done on our different platforms, as well as us coming together as a group. Um, the uh, the unity that we've displayed, the chemistry that we've built between each other, man. All of that. We're celebrating all that. It's an all black affair. So make sure that you get your tickets. They're $30. We'll be out in the Northeast. It is at 1890 Woodhaven Road, Philadelphia, PA 19116. Again, from 6 to 10. Hit me, Sonny, Hype, Dana, Taya, anybody who you know from Podcast Link Philly. Hit us up, get your tickets, make sure you in the building. We got the sponsor beating everybody to the chat today. That's right. The sponsor of the Two Kings 215 podcast. The sponsor of Life Be Lifey. And the owner of Simply Michelle Catering. Quiche with the cake. Keep the aka Denver Man. You know what I mean? Welcome, 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 sponsor. So, um, there's an announcement. I guess I'll hold off until later. Once we got some more people in the chat, because I want them to be aware of it. I was just reminding people of Podcast Link Philly's next show that again is on November 29th from 6 to 10. It is the it is Podcast Link Philly presents Next Level Interactive Game Night. All right. Once again, it's from 6 to 10. The tickets are $30. We wearing all black. We gonna have a blast. If you are at the show, you get a chance to be in the show. Get a ticket for you and whoever you bring in with you. All right. This is episode 98, y'all. I am 2 episodes away, just 2 episodes away from episode 100. Came a long way, man. Came a long way. Was doing a whole different podcast and everything. And as this podcast says, life be life, and then it led me here. It led to this point. No regrets on my side. Um, no regrets whatsoever. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity um to be able to still podcast. You know what I'm saying? Everything I've learned from hosting, co-hosting, uh, booking, doing group, doing these collaborations, doing live shows, all of these things, man. I'm fortunate. I know before I've spoken on how hard it could be. And I'm not saying it don't be, it don't be some difficulties or some challenges. I'm not gonna pretend like, all of that was, smoke and mirrors when I said it was tough. It was, it was, and sometimes it still is. But it's also rewarding. Like every view I see on, you know, on YouTube. Uh, Anytime I run into a person and they mention it, I got a friend that literally refers to me as podcast. I saw a homie the other day that I haven't seen since a couple of years after we got out of high school. Um, he mentioned the podcast. Uh, you know, it's just a blessing because it means that I'm having the ability to connect and make people smile, make people laugh, make people think, um, give people something to talk about, some kind of positive energy that I get the opportunity to share with a community that's bigger than I even realized. It's a bigger community than the 120 or 100. What we got? What we up to? Let's check. 122 subscribers that we currently have. 18 away. The goal is 150. The goal is 150. Did I do that math wrong? Yeah, I surely did. I surely did. Uh I said 22. I said 18 away. Yeah, that's definitely wrong. I heard it when I said 18. 28. 28 away from hitting my goal of 150 for the year. You know what I'm saying? Boo boo on me for talking 18. I listen, I podcast, okay? I podcast. I'm not a I'm not an accountant. I'm not a math teacher, okay? I'm not perfect. Hard as it might be for y'all to believe, I'm not perfect. Um, let's see what's going on. Anybody else in the chat? Anybody else in the chat? Who else we missing? Top Chatter probably make his way here eventually. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Um, let's see. All right. I guess I should start talking about the topic so as to not completely kill the vibe. Can't have podcasts with dead air and can't be 20 minutes in and you ain't, really get to what you're trying to get to yet, right? So first and foremost, I want to say that, if I get a little passionate at some point, um, I'm not here to be intentionally disrespectful to the people I got stuff to say to or about, but it might come off however it comes off. And at that point, again, like I said, I'm not intentionally looking to be disrespectful to nobody. Um, but you know, what I gotta say is what I gotta say, and however folks feel about it is how they feel about it. We are in a very, interesting time. Uh, Interesting is kind of a liberal. I'm liberally using that word. Um, for some, it's a scary time. For some, it's a trying time, and for others, I guess it's just another day. We got to make it one way or the other, and I understand that. But with everything going on with the government shutdown, a lot of people are impacted. I mean, a lot of changes, cuts. It's really impacted American society and how we moving around currently. How people are able to provide for themselves, jobs they had. Like some people's jobs literally laid them off. Some people have been vacated from their positions with jobs. Um, it's been a lot. And I'm sure somebody will tell me I'm not looking hard enough or I'm not thinking hard enough. But honestly, from my point of view, it doesn't look like it's for the better of the people right now. I just don't see it. Um, I just don't see it. I don't see the wins right now. I see, like I said, I see a lot of cuts and I see a lot of changes, but I don't see where that's directly helping American people rise up. I don't see where it's helping us make more money. I don't see where it's helping us be healthier. I don't see where it's bringing us together in any way, shape, or form. Um, but to not beat around the proverbial bush too much, everybody knows that the government shutdown has, like I said, it's cost some people their job, cost some people the ability to provide for their families, um, and that has rippled down to the programs um, that are government funded, such as SNAP, right? Um, AKA, let's just get down to it, the food stamps, right? So November, Pennsylvania for sure. I can't speak for everywhere else, but in Pennsylvania, folks ain't getting no stamps. Um, hopefully when the uh, government shutdown is over, people will get back paid. But I'm not even going to say it like it's a guarantee that that happens that way. I just found out today, you know, from sources that LIHEAP, the program that they have to help people who need help paying for heat, for gas. That's going to be delayed. So for people who feel like they too cold now want to turn on their gas, yeah, yeah, Keish, I was just saying that about LIHEAP. Hold your horses. Not gonna see LIHEAP until December, and that's not even a guarantee. It's being delayed till December at the earliest. As in, if this government shutdown continues to go on, we don't necessarily know if they're really just gonna issue LIHEAP regardless. Like we don't know that. We as a people do not know that. So, for the people who need assistance, like life looking a little bit, messed up for them right now. It's looking a little bit rough for them right now. So I call this episode um Poor People, Rich Decisions because once again, these decisions are made by people who don't face any of the consequences of the decisions. Um, the people who gotta feed their family, the people who just had a new kid, because let me tell you the cost of living continues to rise while the cost while you know salaries and wages uh ain't nowhere near keeping up with it, nowhere near it, in most cases. um for all the people who left jobs during COVID, it's been harder to find a job since COVID. um and that's coming from a person who already got a job. You heard me? Uh, yeah, definitely a crazy time. Um, so when we look at it all, right, I'm trying to find a way to be clear on how I speak on this. Um, I always say everything goes up but the pay for sure, right? Like, I mean, let's just be honest. I don't care who you are. I don't care how well you get paid. I know once you go to the market, you don't feel like you make as much money as you make. Okay? I know. If you gainfully employed, whatever you like to spend money on, whatever your twist is, you know, clothes, trips, uh, technology, hobby stuff, all this stuff that y'all like to spend money on because it makes you feel good, right? It don't hit like when you spend the money for groceries, gang. You got to go ahead and spend that money for groceries and you realize like the difference in cost. And we're not talking about like, of course we could talk about the stuff when we was kids, like the quarter waters and the hugs and the bags of chips and all that. All right, you know what, you could go to a dollar, you could take a dollar and go to the store and get this, that, and the other. Right. But like it wasn't that long ago that Dollar Tree was actually still just a dollar. The Dollar Tree is like $1.25, $1.50 now. Okay. If you get something in the Dollar Tree that's actually just a dollar these days, you're lucky. You're lucky. Um, so for those people who literally have problems making ends meet, this is just really raw for them. And the part that pisses me off, the part that grinds my gears, is the lack of empathy and the lack of compassion towards these people that I see going on right now. And if I got to be honest, especially from my people, okay, our people, the fact that so many people have so much negative things to say about people who are on government assistance is blowing my fucking mind. It's one thing that you don't need the benefits, right? I saw stuff in there for $7. I hate that for us. Word, word, word. Like I saw when they started having stuff in there for like $5, and I'm kind of like, all right, well that makes sense because you still getting a bargain on some of that stuff. Like I'd rather pay $5 here than $10 there. Cool, all right, cool. But then that stuff was kind of like, I don't know that you're really saving me too much money with this $5 with some of the stuff they start putting in there because the sizes, the quantities of what you were paying for got smaller. Um, so yeah. um, but like I was saying, like what's bothering me is that again, we know the rich get richer and the poor get poor. But here it is. Once again, like I worked for a job, and again, I'm not trying to tell y'all where I work. I worked for a job. I mean, some of y'all already know because I've spoken on situations that's happened. But if I'm not gonna keep reminding y'all, in my job, in my career, I remember probably my second or third year, there was a budget impasse. And not only expected, they demanded that we continue to come to work, even though for that period of time, we weren't even getting paid. Like, you got government people who got government jobs right now getting furloughed, you know, people not able to go to work, people not able to earn their money. But at least you're not expected to be at work. Being expected to be at work and you not gonna get your money. Do y'all understand how crazy that gotta be? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, so me, I have compassion for people who are on this government assistance and won't be able to get it. Like we could say how many of us, black people, we grew up on stamps and it was part of what kept our families intact and all that kind of stuff. I ain't even gonna try to go that far back because I don't know who grew up on it and I don't know who didn't. I'm not gonna assume everybody did. I'm just speaking from the point of compassion, from the point of empathy, right? So what if you don't need it? Even if you never needed it your whole life, somebody does. And I'm not even going to talk about the people who are elderly and disabled, right? I'm not even talking about them. I'm talking about people who are physically capable of working, who can get up and go to work. People assume that because you can get up and go to work and you're on welfare, it's because you don't want to work. And that's just not true. There are people who have 9 to 5s. And because the cost of everything is still where the fuck it is, they need additional benefits, bro. And don't hit me with just get a better paying job. I almost said SMD. But like, don't come to me with that. It's not that simple. It is not that simple. I'm a person who's had a job, who's worked for a company for 17 years. I tried to get a side gig, and it's been difficult as hell just to get a side gig, a part-time gig. And I've proven that I can be a good employee. I've proven that I am stable because I've been at this job for 17 years. And yet, when I tried to apply for other places for part time, I was not getting callbacks. I was not getting interviews. Even in trying to move around to different apartments within, not apartments, but departments within this company, this industry that I'm in, it's been difficult as hell. Now I know for some people it's just easy. It's just boom, 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 boom. And I know some people that it's that easy for them to get a job, right? They go from this job to that job to that job, this job to that job. I get it. But what I'm saying is not everybody got it like that. And it's not because of lack of effort. It's not because of, lack of want. It's not because of lack of grind. It's just don't work like that for everybody. He said it's so uncertain out here that the same people talking crazy may now find themselves in that position. Look, okay? Because I can guarantee you that as well as even some government employees get paid, they bills are not waiting on the government to open back up. So yeah, you probably got some money stashed. Yeah, you probably got some money saved. And of course, we all should, try to be as best and as good as we can with money. But let's just be completely honest. Don't sit here and act like everybody is budget guys. And let's not fraud. Okay? And I'm not even just talking about just the simple ability of paying bills and paying them on time. We're adults. Let's do that. But some people, it's just harder for them. Excuse me. If you have a job right now in this economy, saying, oh, well, I'm going to just up and leave this job to go get a job that pays me more, bruh, that gamble may not pay you the fuck off for a while. And there's certain people who can't afford that time it takes. Some people just, a lot of people, I don't know why I'm saying some, a lot of people can't. And I know that people always want to think about the bum ass niggas and the bum ass bitches who just want to sit here and be on welfare and they don't want to try and they don't want to work hard and they scheme and they get housing and they the dregs of society. They're the worst. They're the people who bring the blocks down and all that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna act like they don't exist. They absolutely exist. They absolutely exist. And I don't have empathy for them. However, there are people who, like I said, would take jobs if the jobs call them back. There are people who take the jobs that call back and those jobs don't pay enough. There are people who work 9 to 5, have been with a company for years, but the lack of big raises still has them stagnant. A lot of people talking shit really ain't too far from qualifying for benefits. And I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna come off like a diss, and I don't care because it kind of is. Y'all A lot of y'all have more compassion and more empathy for these fucking racists who died than y'all do for people who need this shit to live. And that is crazy to me. Crazy as hell. It's giving Willie Lynch. It's giving that animal with the circle around his eyes. You know exactly which one. You know exactly which one. And it's just given like it's given that you're brainwashed and you're conditioned because it's always cool long as you're not at the bottom of the totem pole. As long as you get to say, hey, I'm not there. I posted on Facebook earlier. Hey, cool. You have a job. You don't need benefits. I'm not going to shit on nobody for not needing benefits, for budgeting well, for being adults and handling their business and being able to take care of all their bills and live the way they want to. Why the hell would I stun y'all? Why the hell would I hate on y'all? Y'all doing life the right way. What are we talking about? Why would I have good on y'all? Good on y'all. Good on everybody who falls into that category. But what I'm saying is, it don't cut that way for everybody. And despite what y'all want to believe, the majority of people on government assistance actually need it. They need it. So I'm gonna end that little rant there, and I'm gonna go on to because some of y'all, there's a phrase that says poor people can't laugh, and some of y'all actually have that mindset that, oh well, if you can't if you can't hold the job down, then you don't deserve this. If you need stamps to live, then you shouldn't be able to do that. Like, the fuck the fuck is wrong with y'all? Why y'all hating on people who need help? That's crazy. That's what's crazy to me. Not the fact that you don't need the help and that you're not affected and that you're not impacted by it. But the fact that because you're not affected by it and because you're not impacted by it, that you're gonna knock other people. Or we just pay for your food with money, like the rest of us do. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Never mind, you are. I don't even know why I asked. You're dumb, you're insensitive, and you're brainwashed. Take that however the fuck you want it. On to more lighthearted things. We got our question of the night. We got our question of the night. We got our question of the night. Let's see. Let's see if we could bring it up for y'all. Question of the night. Question of the night. Un momento, por favor, while I bring up the feed right quick. I hope that didn't come off as me thinking I'm better than some of y'all, although y'all thinking y'all better than other people just because y'all don't need benefits. I kind of don't care if y'all fall into that category and y'all offended, y'all supposed to be. Just that simple. Um, have some fucking compassion. Um, be better. Be better. Be human. I ain't saying cry your eyes out. I ain't saying lose no sleep. I ain't saying give what you can't afford to give. or give what you don't have. I'm just saying, don't hate on them people. That's all I'm saying, actually. That's really all I'm saying is don't hate on them people. You heard me? All right. About to come to the question of the night. All right, let's share this screen so that we all can hear and see it. All right, let's make sure that we have audio. Okay. Question of the night coming
Am
up.
I the asshole for telling my wife she can't have it both ways? We've been married for 9 years. We're in our 30s and have two kids. For the most part, I think our relationship is great. We don't really struggle with jealousy or insecurity or like usually anything until recently. I know this makes me sound horrible, but I never really got along with one of her friend groups. These are some of her work friends she started hanging out with about a year ago. Nothing really against them, just don't really think it was my crowd. It's two married guys and two women who are divorced, one recently so. And the few times I've come along with the wife to hang out with them, it was mostly work talk, and I didn't find that particularly interesting. So usually I just stay home, care for the kids to save money on the sitter, and let my wife go. But I was clear with my wife that I just didn't really enjoy that particular group. And while I encourage her to go out and socialize, I just didn't want to come. She was fine at first, but then the group started pressuring her into bringing me as the guys started bringing their wives around, and one of the gals found a partner. So she was starting to feel awkward coming along without me. We argued for a bit, but after a few times, she said it was important to her that I come along, so I agreed. Well, to my surprise, it turned out I get along really well with one of the guy's wives. We just hit it off immediately because we're a very similar type of geek. So we just talk about TV or movies or anime while the others did their thing. I thought I cracked the code because now, whenever spouses were invited to the hangouts, I could show up and have a good time, and I thought it'd make my wife happy. It did not. Instead of her being happy that I'm coming, she's now acting jealous and saying that it's weird how close I'm getting to the woman. I told her that it's not weird. She's just the one person I get along with well in the group outside of her. My wife asked if I would make more of an effort to not just interact with her, and I said no. I again said that the choice was hers. She could invite me to the hangouts or not invite me, and I would respect it. Moreover, I'm not actually close to the woman. I don't have her number. We aren't connected on social media. I genuinely have no contact with her outside of the group. But if my wife is going to insist that I come to these things, I'm not going to go to force myself into having the worst time ever. My wife said that I'm an asshole for not putting her needs and wants first. But I told her that's selfish to claim because she's basically telling me to put myself last regularly so she can both get to bring me to these hangouts, but also discourage me from enjoying myself when I come. It seems controlling and petty. So I just said she can decide if she wants me there or not, but she does not get to dictate how I behave. So, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my wife?
All right, we'll go through the whole thing all over again. But that is the question of the night. Is he the a-hole because his wife, who wants her husband to go with her to the job functions, hang out with the job friends, he doesn't like the job friends because they just not his vibe. Y'all sit there and y'all talk about work the whole time. It's not fun for him. He says, hey, go ahead, keep going if you want. I'll stay home with the kids. Don't worry about it, baby. Go enjoy yourself. She goes for a while, and then they start bringing their significant others, and she feels pressured now. She feels awkward now because she's the only one there now with her significant other. So she's like, it's really important if you come, babe. Like, it really make me feel good if you came to these functions with me. So he decides, all right, man, I'm gonna slide. I'm gonna be a good husband. I'm gonna slide. One of the guy's wives is on the same type vibe that he is as far as geek type energy. So they chatted up while everybody over there talking about work still. They're talking about TV shows, movies, anime, geek related things. So he's like, all right, cool. I found my person to kick it with during these, work gatherings, these hanging out with her coworkers. His wife gets jealous because it's a woman, let's be honest. And then says, hey, you gotta be friends with everybody else. Like, focus on being friends with everybody else, not just her. He's like, no, I told you I didn't want to be there in the first place. I'm only here because you want me to be here. Well, I think you're being an a-hole. So is he the a-hole? Absolutely not. If you ask me, she's the a-hole and she's selfish. Calling him selfish is wild when, one, he only came because you asked him. He didn't want to be there. He had no desire to be there. He's there because you asked him to be there. Two, once he said he wasn't comfortable or didn't enjoy himself, he didn't find any excuse to stop you from going and enjoying yourself without him. Three, you came back to him and asked him to go again, even though he already told you he didn't enjoy himself. And he said, you know what? All right, I'll go again because it's important to you. Four, you're going to make it about the fact that he's getting along with a woman instead of the fact that you get everything that you asked for, his presence there, your opportunity to kick it with your friends, and he gets to have a good time so he's not like complaining. You're not worried about him having a sour face. Like, shorty, what the fuck more do you want? It's all about you. You're really selfish. Sis, you're really selfish. You're the a-hole. Plain and simple. Because everything is about you, you. And that's insane. That's wicked, actually. Tommy in the chat says definitely not the a-hole. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Definitely not the a-hole. She's selfish and she's insecure. Because a woman that honestly, here's the even more psycho part. A woman that he never would have met if he didn't come to these functions that he did not have a good time at if he wasn't trying to be good to you. If he did not try to be good to you, he would have just been like, I told you, I don't have fun with your friends. Go. Go. I'm not going, yo. I'm not going. Your friends are lame to me. I'm uncomfortable there. All y'all do is talk about work. I'm just sitting there like, nah, I'm cool. Go. I'll be here with the kids. Here, you want some spending money? Go. He didn't even carry it like that. He said, all right, despite the fact that I didn't enjoy it, despite the fact that I told you your friends ain't my type of people, I'm going to go again. And then he met the other geek who he don't talk to until he goes to hang out with your friend. You know what? Can't win for losing. A husband story. It's like goddamn, goddamn. Can't win for losing. What we else we got going on in the chat? Keish says, yeah, she's a jerk. She basically wants to control the whole situation. She probably complained if he spent that time up under her too. Let that man be great. Exactly. Can't win. I said can't win for losing. Can't win for losing. Everything got to be her way. Tommy says the problem is he found easy camaraderie with another woman, and it's a problem. Absolutely. The bigger problem is her not considering him under any circumstances. Emphasis on any. He don't dig the vibe. She don't care. Come on. And it's like, so what they bringing a significant others? Like, what's wrong with you? Why you can't stand on your own 2 feet? Hmm? But how you gonna let them? They did. I know that it said she felt pressured or they pressured her. They didn't pressure that woman. They didn't pressure that woman. Nobody pressured her to bring her husband that didn't have a good time with them, and more than likely they didn't enjoy his presence because he wasn't having a good time. Nobody pressured her to bring her husband. She started feeling out of place because they started bringing they pieces. They started bringing they other halves. So then she's like, damn, I'm the only one here without my other half. You used to be the only one there with your other half, and now everybody bring the other half, and you still ain't no winning with you, shorty. Ain't no winning with you. That's the truth. That's the truth. You ain't shit. You the asshole. All right. Listen, this episode has been pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Uh, because it's just me getting straight to the point. I want to say this is episode 98, y'all. For episode 100, I would truly go back and watch this episode. I'm try to promote it a little bit better. But he said if she felt that awkward and knew he didn't want to come, she could have just said, nah, I'm good, and stayed home with her man. Imagine. Imagine. Imagine that, Keish. Imagine. Imagine. But no, she has to have it all. She has to have it all. She don't want to be home with the kids and her man. She want to be out because her friends is out. She's a follower. She's very insecure. She's very weak. Very insecure and very weak. Very much so. She got to be out with her friends. And then when her friends brought they folks, now she got to bring him back. As Tommy said, no consideration for this man under any circumstance. And she's weak. Weak. Boo. I need a boo John. That's what I need on here. I gotta find me a boo sound effect so I could, you know, give her the thumbs down. Give her the thumbs down. We need a thumbs down where you at. Boo. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. Boo. Um, but yeah, y'all. Folks came at the end of the daggone show, man. Y'all killing me, Kane. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. I had a whole conversation. Please go back and watch the I mean I talked about NBA and stuff earlier on, so I don't know if that matters to you. That was just me just trying to, keep things going till we had folks in the chat. But I had a discussion. I thought her name was Keish Sweat. Hey yo, Keish. Hey yo, Keish. Swear to God. Don't let me catch you near the gym doing anything physical, because that's gonna be your new nickname. That is, in fact, if I catch you in the kitchen and you just throw it down, that's gonna be your new nickname, Keish Sweat. Hey yo, that's hilarious. Key Sweat is friggin' hilarious. That's a good one. That's a good one, Paul. That's funny as hell. Keish Sweat. Oh man. Um yeah, we're not going yeah, easy on you for real. But that's funny as hell. That is too funny. I'm putting that joint back up on the screen. Key Sweat is hilarious. But yeah, I was having a conversation about my opinion, my outlook on how people are shitting on people who need benefits for no reason. Um, so yeah, I ain't gonna rehash it too much. But once again, thank you for those who showed up. Thank you for those who are gonna watch this episode on the back end. Pause. Um, who didn't get to have the opportunity to converse with your boy live tonight. Listen, I was saying this is episode 98, and I guess this is particularly for the local lifers. This is episode 98. Episode 900, episode 100 is 2 episodes away, and I would like, if possible, to record episode 100 with you guys. Um, Now, granted, I can't get all of you guys, but let's say between 15, somewhere between 10 and 20 of you guys. Uh, I would like to do a live recording with y'all. Um, Ty the curator and Keish with the cakes. Um, you wasn't speaking on that. You're conflicted. Then I wish you was here earlier, so we could have had more of a conversation about it. But go back and watch what I said, and then of course, um, you could inbox me, and um, we could have a personal conversation about it. Or if you ever had the freedom to where you want to bring the topic to the floor, we could do that episode at some point. Um, we could kind of do it like how I had Keish and Myron. We'll have it from the lifer section episode where we talk about a previously discussed topic, and we could kind of do it in debate form, even if you want, depending on how you feel about what I said. If our differences verge off too far. I'm with it though. We still gotta do that pause episode. We still gotta do that pause episode. Myron is waiting for that pause episode too. Shout out to Top Chatter. Wasn't even in the episode this episode. Fuck you doing, Top Chatter? But no, shout out to Myron. Um, is Keish gonna have cakes at the 100th episode? Uh, I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna try to talk her into, having having some of her culinary delights there. Um, excuse me. But that episode is in 2 weeks. So, like I said, I'm trying to find a venue to, host an intimate live recording with you lifers, and you know, it's something different. You know what I'm saying? It's not quite a live show like how, we do with um Podcast Link Philly, but just literally like some people to be in the place while I record, and still put this out here for the lifers, the distance lifers, and everybody who physically can't be there. Um until that one day where Life Be Life makes it big and I have a studio, and then I could just have y'all filling in the studio from my mouth to God's ear. Um but yeah, so if anybody in the local Philly area is like, yo, I gotta be there, I gotta be at that 100th episode, let me know now. Let me know as soon as possible. I'm also not ruling out anybody who's willing to travel. Uh, Now, I don't think it, again, this is not me saying it's necessary, but if anybody feels so compelled, then let me know, and I ain't going to turn you away and be like, no, I don't want to see you. Stay away. If you that compelled and it's convenient for you, let me stress that if it's convenient for you. If it's not convenient for you, don't worry about it. There will be a Life Be Life in live show at some point. It just won't be in 2025, and it just won't be before the 100th episode. Okay. But when that occurs, I'm going to need as many lifers as possible to pop out for that. But for this is just kind of my way to, connect with y'all. Um, Still do the 100th episode, but give it a different feel. You feel me? Give it a more personal touch when y'all get, instead of hitting the laughter button, y'all actually hear people and y'all see people. And it kind of, I don't know, it makes the community maybe probably feel a little bit more real. On top of it, it adds a celebratory element to reaching episode 100. And shout out to Tyra. Tyra. Oh God, my bad, Tyra. Please don't bop me upside my head. I'm tired. I'm tired. Taya, who inspired the idea by not letting me just settle for game night for episode 100. Keisha, Tommy discussing turkey wings. I need me a turkey wing too sometime soon. Uh, New friend, I need her to hook me up with a turkey platter sometime soon. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she don't cater to join and feed everybody else. I know when she comes, she better have some turkey and mac and cheese for me. You heard? Pause. Pause. She said I'll be your best friend. That's hilarious. But yeah, hopefully I could pull this off. If so, I'm shooting for the week. So I will let y'all definitely know by next Thursday for sure, for sure. And what'll happen is I won't record episode 100 on Thursday. I'll record it on whatever day we're doing that live recording, whether it's Friday or Saturday, depending on the space that I get and depending on what I can manage as far as that being concerned. Um, I will keep y'all informed. Also, heads up, I'm working on doing some TikTok content, doing a TikTok live. Hopefully, I'll be live on TikTok this coming Monday. I have a guest scheduled for a conversation for that. So hopefully I'll be able to finagle TikTok live for that. And then I'll do it on TikTok live and then I'll post that on YouTube so that y'all can still see it. So that anybody who doesn't have TikTok not left out. Pause because I say because in Philly we call booty turkey. So you know what I'm saying that she better have some turkey for me. So see, that's why I don't agree with y'all whole thing about pause always having to do with gay because this had nothing to do with gay. This was male female. But again, we got to get that episode done. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be controversial. But me and you got to get that episode done, Kane. Kenyon, you got to free up a Thursday for me, blood. You got to do it. You got to do it. I'm telling you that episode gonna be a good one. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good one. I'm not doing that episode with nobody. Nobody. That's your episode. If that episode never happens, it's your fault. You heard it here, you heard it first. If the pause episode never happens, blame Kenyon. Outside of that though, y'all, again, for those of you who are in the Philadelphia area or willing to travel, November 29th, Podcast Link Philly will be putting on our fourth live show. And it's not just a live show, it's an interactive game night. So come on, press the start button, and let's make that a thing. Okay? Go to the next level with us. All right? That will be again November 29th from 6 to 10. We will be located at 1890 Woodhaven Road, Philadelphia, PA 19116. The doors open at 6. So get your tickets. It's $30. Please come in all black. It's an all black affair and it's a celebration. All right. So come with good spirits. Uh, be ready to be entertained. Be ready to participate, man, because you might just have your name called out of nowhere. You might just have that spotlight on you out of nowhere. I ain't trying to hear that shot stuff. I will pull up on you myself to get you to do whatever it is that we got going on that night. You know what I'm saying? If you need somebody to, give you that courage, that cheer for you, I'm gonna be right there on the spot. All right, we're gonna have a lot of fun that night. Meantime, we got a couple of surprises on deck. So be there for sure, for sure. And like I said, I will let you guys know about episode 100, where it's gonna be, when it's gonna be, and how we could, how many of us will be there. And then, like I said, for sure, reach out and let me know who is interested. Outside of that, you said next Thursday you off. All right, all right. If I can't, because I had my Halloween episode scheduled where we was talking about horror and stuff like that. But if you off next Thursday, I'm gonna touch base with you and see if maybe we can't make next episode at 99 a 2 for 1, where maybe we top crazy pause. Maybe we handle two topics in one episode. Maybe, maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do that. I'm open for that. But we'll talk, King. We'll talk off air. Meantime, between time, dressed in all black like the Omen. Hey, like this one's for my homie. Now you know me for sure, for sure. All black for that event. You heard? Um, But yeah, I appreciate everybody who did tap in tonight. Man, let the people know that they missed a good episode. Go ahead, share. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Um, if you did not hit like, okay, I know it's something we forget to do when we watch YouTube videos, but go ahead, give me the HBO special, as they call it, the Help a Brother Out special, and smack the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Go ahead and share it to whoever you think is going to be interested in what I have to say, whether they agree or disagree with me. All comments, questions, complaints, and concerns, please, please have no hesitation in sending them. I will read them. I will pay attention to them. Am I going to change everything because of that? Fuck no. I ain't gonna lie to y'all about that. But, but, I will take them into consideration. Okay. Life be lifing at Gmail. If you want to email, you could, of course, inbox Not Charles on Facebook. And of course, you can DM life be lifing _9 on Instagram. Thank you all for your support. Two more before episode 100, man. Next week, we're going to get spooky, but we also might have a pause episode again. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. But it's going to be fun. Either way, it's going to be fun. I will be here next Thursday at 9. Uh, Hope to see y'all there. As I always say, first of all, on behalf of A.C.E, my brother, that's who he always be. On behalf of the sponsor of Two Kings 215 and Life Be Life in podcasts, Keish, and the owner of Simply in the Shade Catering and co-owner of Second Line Express, Keish with the Cakes, aka Denver Mom. And on behalf of Mimi, the goddess, please be respectful. Please be respectful. Please be respectful. Be patient. Be smart. Be kind to as many people as you possibly can. I know some people gonna make that impossible. But make sure every single day, take the time out to be kind to yourselves, because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Mean that from the muscle. Be safe and stay dangerous. You heard? I'll catch y'all next Thursday. In fact, I'll catch y'all on TikTok next Monday. And then we'll be back here again that following Thursday for episode 99. Peace.